Okay, so I'm currently away at the moment, and I thought I'd give you guys the more scenic route of the beach. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you an even better look at it. Yeah, bloody hell, just look at that. That is bloody God's country out there. So anyways, we had some interesting news come out today where we got our first leaked look at Galactus and Fantastic Four First Steps, which comes out later this year. I'm really excited for it. And my first reaction to what Galactus looks like in First Steps is this is a very faithful look. This is staying true to the comics as far as look. Like we'll see as far as character betrayal goes in the film, but upon look and design, this is the best Galactus has ever looked on screen. Like he's certainly better than a fucking storm cloud that we got in Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. Like I don't know what executive in the room, like maybe his tie was a bit too tight, but I don't know who came up with the idea of making Galactus a storm cloud. Like that was a horrible idea. That person should be fired. But anyways, you know, putting that aside, I really like this look of Galactus. There's going to be a lot of, you know, merchandise come out over the next few months, you know, with Funko Pops, more than likely, you know, t-shirts, posters, you know, there's going to be all this merchandise. But then that kind of begs the question of like, they've been trying to hide Galactus in the trailers. As we've seen behind him, we've seen shoulder shots, but we've never seen exactly what his place is going to be within the film. And my theory is, I don't think he's going to be in the film for that long. I have a feeling what we're seeing in the trailers and the teasers is the first 45 to an hour of the movie. And I think, you know, spoilers for ThunderBolts here up as well. But the after credit scene, we see the Fantastic Four entering the MCU. And there was an interview with the director saying that the Russo brothers directed that scene, which at the moment they're in production on Avengers Doomsday. Which then gets me thinking, is the scene that we're seeing at the end of Thunderbolts like the final scene of Fantastic Four? Because, you know, there's two ways of looking at this. Like, maybe what we're seeing in the trailer is the first 45 minutes and that takes place in their universe. So far, everything we've seen in the trailers has taken place in their universe. But we know from Thunderbolts that they do eventually have to cross over to the MCU. And I think the reason why they're crossing over to the MCU is because of Galactus. I think Galactus is only going to be in the movie for like 10-15 minutes. I don't think he's going to be the ultimate threat of this movie. I think he's going to be in it for a very short amount of time. And so once Galactus does come into the picture and starts causing chaos and havoc on their world, I think that's when the Fantastic Four escape to the MCU. So that's why I'm saying I think what we're seeing in the trailers is only the first quarter of the movie. I don't think we're seeing a full story. I think we're only seeing a little bit of the film, because, you know, we know that the Fantastic Four are ultimately going to team up with Captain America or Sam Wilson, and they're going to team up with Thunderbolts. And that's kind of how Doomsday is going to play out, is we're going to see those three groups kind of come together as being you know, the ultimate Avengers, or the new Avengers, you know, in this case. So yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that. From the trailer, it doesn't look like Galactus is going to be in the movie that much. You know, maybe he could be in it, you know, a lot more now that his look is out there. I don't know, maybe Kevin Feige, you know, could release, you know, another trailer and we could see a lot more of Galactus. But, you know, I'm not too sure. I'm just excited that Marvel has finally listened to the fans. They've finally given us a faithful comic book version of Galactus that looks like Galactus. So, you know, the comic book fan inside me, you know, is happy. You know, do I think he'll become a bigger threat in phase 6 of the MCU? You know, time will tell. You know, we already know Doctor Doom is coming in. You know, Doctor Doom is usually the one behind the scenes that's kind of enforcing everything. So, yeah, you know, we will see. You know, if Fantastic Four does well, and more likely to be a sequel, you know, we might see more of Galactus. But I just don't think that he's going to be the threat of this movie. I think his role will be, you know, Doctor Doom, which I don't think this movie will show Doctor Doom. I think the first time we will see Doctor Doom is going to be in Avengers Doomsday. I think Marvel is hiding Robert Downey Jr.'s look, and, you know, as I already said, Doomsday's in production, and so far they've done a really good job at hiding like images and videos from leaking. So, you know, bravo to Kevin Feige on that. So that's why I don't think we will see Doctor Doom. Like, you know, we might get like, you know, like an over the shoulder shot and maybe like a voice, but as far as like mask and look, I think the movie's going to be saving that for Doomsday. You know, I think setting up Doctor Doom in the after credits, I think is very much possible when it comes to Fantastic Four. So yeah, you know, I'm really excited for Fantastic Four. I've loved the trailers that they've put out so far. Yeah, you know what? That's not very attractive. This is attractive right here. Yeah, you know, I've loved the trailers. I love the very, you know, 50s and 60s look. You know, I love the costumes. I love the feel. This movie, you know, hopefully this is going for 2 for 2. You know, ThunderBolts was awesome. You know, let's hope, you know, Fantastic Four continues it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm really keen to see what Marvel does. You know, Ironheart comes out in a few days. Can't wait for that. You know, Marvel has a lot of good shit coming. Looking forward to it.